Welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. With over 20 years of real estate experience and selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes to renting versus selling and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live 888-994-4995, Studio A.
Hi everyone, welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Every week we talk about something to help you make a little money, save a little money, or maybe just help you navigate this crazy world that we live in. And as I say every week, boy oh boy, is it crazy. Today we're going to talk about why you need to move to Florida in 2026. You're probably going, well, of course I need to move to Florida anytime because it's beautiful weather. It's pretty beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I mean, you got your few hours in the day that you're like, oh, my armpits are stuck to my side. But I mean, come on, this is heaven.
You know, the summers are our winters, right? Mm-hmm. That's how
Right, where it's freezing cold. Like, I'd rather be burning hot.
Of course, yeah, because I'm not outside all the time. I'm in the
Not
car,
that people
in the
don't
office.
pay to go in those Cairo things where they like freeze you.
Right, the Cairo machines.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to coin like a T-shirt and basically Florida in the winter. That's when we shine. I think that's a good little motto for Florida.
That is. Yeah. So, Cliff, tell us why we need to get to Florida and not wait till January 1, 2027. Why is it so important that you have to close on a house by no later than December 31st if you do not own a house in Florida?
Well, besides the obvious and the beautiful weather, I mean, there is a proposal that we will all be voting on in November, and that could dramatically lower the price of housing or the monthly expense, which is the new homestead exemption.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That I think it's a no-brainer. I feel there's a surplus of funds in our local economies and in our government, and homeowners need relief. Property values have gone up, and when property values go up, so does the amount of tax that they collect, and there's no reason why they should be sitting on such a surplus when homeowners need that relief.
I realize that when people retire at a certain age and you're on a fixed income, mm-hmm. I mean, think about it. If you really wanted to retire at 67, which is really young.
Do people do that?
I think so.
Okay.
The smart ones do. Yeah. If they can afford to, right?
Right.
So I'm not saying you're stupid if you're working after 67.
Well, of course. It's good for the mind.
But let's think about it for a second, right? I retire at 67. I'm getting my Social Security. Do you know what max Social Security is?
Well, if I play around on the My Social
somebody
website.
wants to retire.
Yeah, no, I just play around.
Mm-hmm. And?
But who knows if it's going to be there when we
That's
when we
true.
need it.
But what do you think like the max Social Security is?
$5,200 a month.
Okay.
$5,000.
So if you were making a really good living and you were getting $5,200 a month from Social Security.
And that's the max.
Right, the max.
Yeah.
And then, which I see a lot of people, believe it or not, getting $700 or $800 a month.
Yeah, I do this all day long.
Right.
I look at.
So let's use like $2,500.
Okay.
Because I think that sounds very average, don't you? I think that would be the average American's Social Security.
Yeah, that's average.
So if you own your house, and let's say you're 70 years old, you've now retired, that means you probably bought your house 40 years ago, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, if you bought your house 40 years ago, so my mom bought her house 37 years ago, her taxes should be somewhere around, on a $200,000 house from 40 years ago, somewhere around $8,000.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So divide 8,000 from 12, right?
Uh-huh.
So we're still under 1,000.
$600.
A little more, right?
Yeah, a little more.
Okay.
$650.
Now she still needs to pay her water bill.
Uh-huh.
Now, depending on what city you're in, like could be 150.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
if you're in a house, you still got lawn care,
Of
unless you're mowing your own.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now you have what other cost expenses? You have your taxes,
The expenses are
right?
not going
and
down.
if you have no more, right? So now you have so we said taxes, insurance, if you carry insurance, because you're worried about liability, especially I think older people are a little bit more, some people let it go but in the end, if you're getting $2,500 and you have a car payment and car insurance, and everybody has a cell phone now, almost everybody.
Everyone has a cell phone.
Yeah, I mean, there might be like 1% of the world that doesn't have a cell phone right now.
It's, expenses are not going down. They're not going to go down. They're actually probably going to increase in retirement.
With this, right? Good, because you want to go away too. You'd like to go
You're
do
home
something.
all day, or you're not working.
Right, so you might go out and spend more money.
Correct.
Because I have no time to spend it right now.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you're not walking around the mall every day.
No.
Right.
No,
Right.
I buy stuff online that I need to return.
Well, that's when you come home, online. But
no, I'm driving. That's me. No, I'm just kidding. So let's go back to this. So if they were to get this new
homestead exemption,
which is currently $50,000.
Currently, we have $50,000 as an exemption off of our assessed value of our home. So what does that mean in terms of dollars? Using 2% as just for easy math, that's $1,000 you're saving off your taxes each year on a homestead exemption.
Right.
There's other benefits, obviously, of homestead, where your homes cannot increase year over year more than 3%, all those other protections, things like that. But hard dollars, $1,000 savings right off the bat with the standard homestead exemption right now currently. So the proposal right now that we will be voting on in November is to increase that in year one next year to $150,000. Right. So an extra $100,000, which will be an additional $2,000 in savings for a total of $3,000. And then in year two, it will max out at $250,000 as an exemption. So total, that's a $5,000 benefit off of your taxes. And if your taxes have been homesteaded, if you're in a homestead property right off the bat, your taxes haven't increased year over year. Like for example, if you purchased your home 15 years ago at $400,000, and currently right now, if that home is worth $1 million, so when you purchase that home, your taxes would be roughly what, $8,000 a year? Easy math.
A little bit less, but
let's just
about about $7,600.
Okay, so round it off to $8,000. Now, if it's $1 million, your tax, if it's now $1 million, if you didn't have the homestead, it would be $20,000. Right. So your taxes would have increased $12,000. So right now, if you bought a home at $400,000 15 years ago, it's not. If it's worth $1 million now, it's not going to be $20,000. It's probably going to be somewhere around like 10.5 or something like that, because it will increase. It will increase 3%, or they might max it out year, but it can't increase more than 3% year over year. So that's it's a great savings for a homestead property, and now you're going to have $5,000 off of that. So you're paying now $5,000. It's a good deal.
No, it sounds like an amazing deal. Yeah. So, but there's a catch, right? Why are we telling you to move here this year?
Right, and of course, we're assuming this is going to pass, which,
that's why we need to educate our realtors, our viewers, that there's no reason to not vote for this. We need relief. We need relief.
You'll have your naysayers, or the ones that feel it's going to take money away from local governments. There'll be some cities that are hit harder than others because it's mainly residential, and they don't receive a lot of taxes from the commercial side. But I'm just not buying that argument. I have confidence.
That's not what's his name said.
Right, I have confidence in the governor. He's done his studies. He's using a really good approach to this. They've been looking at it for a few years, and I'm pretty confident that it is a wonderful, wonderful proposal that's really needed because of the increases of property values throughout the years, and there's no reason we should collect all these taxes. But why do we need to do this now? Why do you have to move now? Now is the time to move, because if you do not move to the state of Florida in 2026, you're going to have to wait 5 years to take advantage of that new proposal.
So they only get $50,000 the first 5 years.
Yes. So if you move here, if that passes in November, and you move down here at any time, January 1st, 2027 or later, you have to wait 5 years for that $250,000 benefit of that exemption. Otherwise, you will get the standard $50,000 exemption.
Okay,
So
so
it's a
that
big-
tells you why you need to be here.
So if you weren't motivated to move down here before, if you
Yeah.
didn't have enough reasons, this is another reason that you could say, hey, South Florida, that's the place for me, or anywhere in Florida.
Yeah, well,
Not just
yeah,
South
and
Florida.
but you want to come to South Florida
Yeah.
because I'm here and
right,
you're here,
of course.
and we can help guide you in this process. So when we
Absolutely.
come back from commercial break, we're going to talk about what programs you have. I'm sure you have some really great programs out there to tell people for first-time home buyers so that you can come here and purchase a new home. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All roads lead home with Fairway Home Mortgage. When it comes to home financing, who you work with matters. At Fairway Home Mortgage, we combine the strength of a national lender with the care and accessibility of local mortgage experts. We offer a wide range of home financing solutions, personalized guidance, and a streamlined process designed to keep things simple, from application to closing. Because at Fairway, home isn't just what we finance, it's what drives everything we do. Connect with Cliff Bernstein, Branch Manager, NMLS number 7853 at 561-213-6852 to see what your options are today. Company NMLS number 2289. This is not an offer to enter into an agreement. Not all customers will qualify. Subject to underwriting approval, other terms and conditions may apply. Equal housing opportunity. Loan officer NMLS number 7853.
At JK Closing Attorneys, we do all of the same things that a title company does, but with the benefits of being a law office. We can help with residential real estate, short sales, commercial real estate, refinances, 1031 exchanges, and FRIPTA withholding.
Contact JK Closing Attorneys today at 954-332-3111. Again, that is 954-332-3111.
Priority One Credit Union of Florida is a welcoming credit union that makes your financial success our number one priority. We offer lower loan rates, higher deposit rates, and common sense local loan approvals, with nationwide access through shared branching.
Hi, I'm Dina Hennessy, President and CEO at Priority One Credit Union. We are open to the community. Anyone can be a member of our credit union, and we would love to have you.
Contact us today at 954-335-5100. You can also reach us at PriorityOneFL.org. Your financial success is our priority. That's 954-335-5100.
You have been watching Making Money with Laura. For more information, contact Laura Sanders at 954-650-0827 or visit her website at theloracell.com. And now back to the show.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders. And I am your host, Laura Sanders. We're here today with Cliff Bernstein from Fairway Mortgage. I know. I just can't get it out fast enough. Fairway Mortgage. And, a lot of us don't know this, but Fairway is one of the top lending.
Yeah, we're the largest lender that no one's ever heard about. Really, that don't know.
Why is that?
I would say maybe advertising. We're not in your face advertising like a Rocket Mortgage. We are what's considered a non-bank lender, which means we're not a depository. But interesting fun fact, since 2008, the financial crisis, when most of the lending was done through traditional channels, through traditional depositories and banks, retail banks, right now, non-bank lenders account for about 82% of the loans that are originated right now. 82%.
I believe that.
So as a non-bank lender, the largest being Rocket Mortgage, they're the largest non-bank lender. But in reality, we were a top 10 lender last year. I believe we were number 6 on the chart in terms of total purchase volume. So we do quite a bit of business.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's
now
all we
that-
do. That's all we do. All we do is lending. We're not doing checking. We're not taking savings, things like that. So we're very good at what we do. It's like a well-oiled machine.
Hence it says Fairway Mortgage, not Fairway Bank.
Correct. But it's very important to work with a lender that doesn't have overlays like some of these.
Explain what a lot of people, like even new realtors, won't understand what an overlay is.
Yeah, I mean it's extremely. So whether you come to me at Fairway, go to Cross Country, another lender, guaranteed rate, J.P. Morgan, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, we're all lenders. We're all going to close your loan. We're going to fund your loan. And then after closing, when you're in your new home, we have the task of selling that paper to an entity called Fannie Mae. So every lender sells their paper to Fannie Mae. That's why Fannie Mae, they make the guidelines. And they have their standards. They have their guidelines. And all we care about are what the Fannie Mae guidelines are. And there could be 2,000 guidelines. But some lenders will have an overlay. They will have guidelines above and beyond that are even more restrictive.
Why? But why? What's the purpose? If you know you can sell it back afterwards to Fannie Mae, why bother?
It's a good question because in reality, we're all responsible for that paper. So, for example, I mean, we're sitting around 3 years later. Fannie Mae might do an audit. Oh, Cliff Bernstein, he didn't dot his I's, he didn't cross his T's. They might want you to purchase back that loan. Nobody wants to purchase that paper back. It's bad for business.
Right.
If you purchase enough loans back, it could put you out of business. I had a situation years ago. This was probably back during the financial crisis. It was around 2009. So you could imagine all the bad loans that were written. Of course not by me, but
Pick a pay.
there were bad loans. It's well documented. The no income verification
There's actually a movie.
loans. Right, the Big Short.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend that movie. And if anyone needs an explanation, just give me a call. I'll explain the whole movie for you. But here's an example. In 2009, I get a letter from Fannie Mae that they were looking at the appraisal. And this is an appraisal, it was probably from 2007, 2008. And so 2 years later, they looked at the appraisal and they felt that the appraiser, there were better comps, better comparables that the appraiser could have used.
Okay.
And they somehow looked at those comps and they were very steadfast in their beliefs and they wanted us to purchase back that loan.
And they could do that?
They could do that. It's in their contracts. We all have contracts with Fannie Mae, and at that time, listen, they could request anything they want.
Well, and everything was worth less money.
We fought back. We wrote letters, and it didn't go anywhere. But they were trying to get that loan purchased back.
Oh my God, that's kind of scary because
from an appraisal of thinking they could have better comps. But
wouldn't E&O for the appraiser cover that?
Yeah, I mean, again, it didn't get to that point.
Right.
But my point is, this is why some of these lenders have overlays above and beyond that are more restrictive. There's something called a debt-to-income ratio, and there's something called a DU approval. And a DU approval, desktop underwriting, just means we take a complete application, income, assets, all that good stuff, we put it into our computer, we hit the button, it goes directly to Fannie Mae, and Fannie Mae does an analysis of the file instantaneously, but they'll say, yeah, you know what, we'll purchase this, approved. This is approved, eligible. If you could close this loan, we're going to purchase this from you. And they'll do that with a debt ratio up to 49.9999% in some cases. I mean, they'll never go to 50% on the debt to income ratio. But if you have other parts of your file that are strong, if you have assets, if you have strong credit, there's no reason why you a lower loan to value. There's no reason why you shouldn't get a DU approval at 49%, even 49.999. Now listen, if you have a minimal credit score of 650, you don't really have reserves, you're not going to get a DU approval at 49% or over. Okay. But my point is, doesn't matter. Some of these lenders have overlays. Even though DU will give you an approval at 49%, and Fannie Mae says, yes, sure, you close this loan as is, we will purchase it with the 49.99% DTI. But some lenders have a cap. They will not go over 43%, for example. But that's their overlay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously you're talking about buying back loans. There is some legalities to the appraisers, to the lenders.
Right.
You know,
of
you got to
course.
be very careful what you do. You got to be on the up and up. So
And sometimes documentation just gets missed. It just gets missed. In some cases, a business was overlooked. You know, it wasn't deceitful. It wasn't fraud. It was just overlooked.
well, it wasn't found, right?
was
Because it
missed.
could be under a company name and you didn't find it when looking them
Yeah,
up.
whatever.
Or,
It's like, hey, listen, we see there's this company that you didn't underwrite, that you didn't include in your debt ratios, and we see there's a loss of $20,000 a year. Now, with that loss, the ratio, you know, your debt to income ratio is now over 50%. It would have never been approved.
right.
So we have to discuss this, because if that company is still in existence, or if it was, you know, it's a problem, you're gonna have to purchase back that loan.
So tell us about some good things. Like, we only have a
all
short
good.
time left. First, before you tell us any good things, tell us how people can get a hold of you. What's the best way to reach you?
Best way to reach you is my mobile number, 561-213-6852, 24/7. Call me, I'm gonna answer the phone.
24/7. I would do
24/7.
it, but I don't want to make your wife mad.
Well, you know what, I close, actually that's not true, it's 23/7. I close down from 3 to 4 to take inventory
Inventory of what?
of my pipeline.
So tell us about, do you have any like really good doctor loans? Because I know we have a lot of doctors out there that we would love for them to call us, for me to help find them a house. What does it go up to price-wise, and how long do they have to be a doctor, or how long can they have been out of school? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's a very popular program right now, because the cost of medical school. I mean, some of these doctors are coming at it with student loans, $500,000-$600,000.
Yep.
Even more for student loans, and it's not. And although they're making a decent salary to begin with, they have a lot of debt, and they really don't. They're just beginning. They don't have that down payment, and they want to. You know, they want to live in a nice house.
Of course, and show their fruits of their labor.
Of course. So we have physician loans, and a lot of these physician loans will go up to 100% financing,
Okay.
no down payment. They will waive the mortgage insurance, which is big.
Yeah, that is big.
And another big guideline that's very big in physician and doctor loans, we will not consider the student loan payments into the debt to income ratio.
Even if like they've been out of school for like 6 years and they're paying on it?
We won't consider it. That's
And
you know,
how-
so
so-
not every program has that, but a lot of them have, and that's one of the benefits of a physician loan, because some of these student loan payments, you know, could knock you out of the box in terms of qualifying, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. in
So
some
can you have
cases.
been a doctor for 20 years and still use this loan?
Of course, yeah. If
You could be a doctor for 3 years and use this loan?
You could be your first job right out of medical school, residency, whatever the case. As long as you have that first job, yeah, that's fine.
And what if, like, for instance, let's say like I'm a doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I play one on TV. No,
Yeah.
I'm a doctor, and I buy a house right now, you know, like 5 years ago, and it was a smaller house. Now I'm making more money. I don't want to sell that house. I want to keep it. I did the 0% down. I want to rent
Okay.
it out. Can I use that loan again?
Could you? You know, it's a good question, and that's never come up. But unlike a VA loan or an FHA loan where you can't do that,
Probably no way to like record it or check it, right?
you're not going to check that you have a doctor's loan. So I would say yes. And again, it's a good question. When I come back, I'll have the answer for you later this afternoon. It's never even come up. I never even had that scenario.
Okay,
So look, but
and-
it is a great question.
And my other question is, do they consider chiropractors to be doctors?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I've
they are
heard in the past that they didn't.
Well, I mean, again, there's all different type of doctor loans, physician loans. A chiropractor is not a medical doctor, but they are a doctor.
Okay.
So-
So is there a difference between medical doctor and?
And for some programs, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
interesting.
some programs, yes. Chiropractor, we have one, but it won't go to 100%. There'll be a 5% down, but there'll still be some other benefits with the mortgage insurance, things like that.
Okay.
But there's a difference between medical doctor, physician loans, doctor loans, things like that for chiropractor, yeah.
All right. Well, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, you definitely want to give me a call. My name's Laura Sanders with RE/MAX Direct, 954-650-0827, or you can check me out on the web at laurasell.com. Or if you need a top-rated mortgage lender who can help you get the deal done and make sure that there's no mistakes along the way. It's not just service, it's experience.
Experience is everything. You know, you need to work with someone. Why experience? Because I truly learn something new every day.
I do
every
too.
day. And you learn from your business. You
Yeah.
learn from your loans. And if you're not closing loans, you're not learning.
Yeah, just because somebody says they're a mortgage lender doesn't mean they're actually a real mortgage lender.
Experience is the key.
Yeah.
That really is. I mean, I'm a forever student. I'm forever learning. I get humbled sometimes on some loans. But you know what? It's a good thing because you learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like always, thank you so much for listening and when streaming on Making Money with Laura Sanders. And until next time, make it a great one.
Thank you for tuning in for Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. To join the conversation, call us at the studio, 888-994-4995 Studio A, or contact Laura directly at 954-650-0827. Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. We look forward to seeing you